All right, everybody, settle down. The year-long wait is over. She is back. I'm not exaggerating. It seems like it's been a year. Jackie Long, how are you doing?
I am great. How are you, Tom?
Excellent, excellent. We have been missed. A lot of people ask about you all the time. People were really getting in. A lot of people have mentioned to me in the past how much they're learning from all our conversations. So Jackie Long, hypnosis.com is where you can find her. She does all her stuff online. We've talked about, I guess it's worth repeating now. When I first met her husband on a business trip, I guess we call it, we had a game in Raleigh. He started telling me about the hypnosis that Jackie did, and I was like, "Oh, that's great." She's going to be waving the watch in front of my face or whatever. And I told her that when we first got on the show, and I'm sure you've heard that many times. So, but I've learned a lot from Jackie. I think a lot of people have about how the mind works and hypnosis works and how you really. So one of the things that since we had this break, we really started getting into, and I really became interested in the subconscious mind. So if I'm going to give you what I thought I got from it was that your over many years, the thoughts and ideas that are put into your subconscious mind determine how your subconscious mind acts towards you in certain situations to protect you. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay, I was right.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like your brain's like a computer. That's the best analogy to use. A lot of people use that analogy because it's easy to understand. So a computer can't operate unless programs are put into it, right? So I mean, we buy a computer today, the programs are already uploaded on the computer. We don't have to do anything. But back in the day, you used to have to upload actual programs to use a computer. So your brain's the same way. And again, from ages 0 to 7 is when most of those basic programs are being put in, because pretty much from the ages of 0 to 7, kids are basically in the brainwave state of hypnosis automatically without trying. There's no filter. So everything that's coming in with high emotion or anything that's coming in from an authority figure really just goes right in there. And as a child, almost every adult is seen as an authority figure. Even an older sibling could be seen that way as well. So, really, anything they say, anything the child is observing, so actions, those things can all have the potential to be filtered, go into their mind. They don't have a critical filter to decide if they want that belief or not. So, let's say, for example, I was talking to somebody today who was talking about issues with weight or self image. And when we talked a little bit more, we found out that her grandmother, when she was young, used to always comment on her own weight. The grandma would make comments about her own self, her own body image. And so then that child, who's now an adult, internalized this and also now has those same exact issues because this is what she
Right.
was seeing. So it's really interesting how it picks up on these things, and the mind decides to create whatever programs. And in this case, created a program around you must be thin or else grandma will not love you or accept you. Right. So that again, it goes back to, well, I need to be part of this family. My subconscious mind is protecting me by deciding I must be thin because this is how it will be accepted. So yeah, it does go back to that protection mechanism.
Wow. So I was lucky growing up. I had my father and grandfather, and it was just they just never quit. It's just they had to get the job done on the farm. And I look back at my life now, and that's really what I
Yeah.
became. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we understand how so it's really those years. I mean, it's 0 to 7, but there can be some wiggle room there. So
Yeah.
then, okay, so after those years, then let's say it's a negative thought like that young lady with the overweight issue. So now you want to change that. It
Mhm.
can be changed through hypnosis, right? Is that you break through the barrier to get to the subconscious mind.
Yeah, so the good thing is, yeah, most of the programs go in from 0 to 7, your basic programs, but that's not to say that other ones don't develop throughout your life. And absolutely, the good news is you can change them if you become aware of something that's not working in your life, and we figure out what the limiting belief is, what's holding you back, and you want to change it, then it can be changed. And hypnosis is the fastest, easiest way that I have found in order to do that. There are other modalities you can certainly use, but all of it goes back to working with the subconscious, tapping in, and being able to change that. And the way that we change it is you're programming another program, you're reprogramming. So again, we have to use repetition, we have to use um, high emotion. We're using all those same things that created a program in the first place to reprogram a new one that will better serve the person.
Sure. So is it accurate to say there's kind of a barrier there protecting the subconscious mind from any change? Whatever, once you get to the hypnosis, you're taking away that barrier, so you're directly at the subconscious mind.
Yeah, so after age 7, the critical factor actually develops, which is a filter. It's just like a filter
Gotcha.
where you then start to say, oh, this person said that or they're doing that thing. But you have now the ability to say, I don't know about that, and think for yourself, have more reasoning abilities. It's just the stage of development.
Right.
0 to 7, we don't have that. So as you get older, you do have that filter. So it can be more difficult, right? So that's why when we're an adult, we have to actually put ourselves back into that, relaxed state or hypnosis, if you will, to go in and change the program.
Right. So on smaller things, so I go to this place called the Farm in Portchester. It's a fresh produce place
Okay.
run by a really nice Asian couple. And the woman was in there one day, and there's a gym right by there. And she was like, she knows I work out and everything. She's like, oh, I don't like the gym. So I said to her, okay, do me a favor from now on. Instead of saying you don't like the gym, tell yourself you like the gym all the time. Is that, I mean, that's not the cure all, but those kind of things can work, right? Chipping away.
Yeah, because like I said, repetition is one of the ways that can work. It's much easier if you go into hypnosis, change the program, and then use repetition as a reinforcer. But think about it. If you're exposed to something over and over and over again, even as an adult, it has an effect on you in some way.
Yeah.
So repetition can work. Mhm.
Yeah. In a good way and bad way, right?
Yeah, both.
Yeah. Wow. That's interesting. That's really pretty cool because you've heard the sayings in the past. Well, you are what you say you are, or tell yourself you can do it all the time. But you really, I never understood the science of it. I believed in those things, but now I understand.
Yeah,
So that's pretty cool. Very cool.
absolutely.
All right. So I have to come clean here. So there's a film crew in from Vancouver a couple weeks ago, filming my life. Getting up at 3:30 and all that. They're doing a thing that's going to be on Amazon Prime called True Redemption. So they were kind of enthralled by me getting up at 3:30 and the whole bit. So they, while we were filming at Taunts Point, where I marched in the morning, they had a drone there. So I was pretty interested in the drone. So I went and bought myself a drone. And because of the weather and I was a little sick, I really didn't get a chance to get out and use it. So this morning, without reading the instructions too much, I decided to take it to the beach. And it was low tide, so there's a pretty wide beach. So I got it all turned on and everything. I got it up in the air. And it started heading right for the water, and I couldn't control it. So I kind of had to, excuse me, I had to kind of dive bomb it into the sand,
Oh,
and it survived fine. But I started thinking to myself, like, Tom, maybe reading the instructions might help you quite a bit here if you understand. But is that? And I started thinking, I've done that many times. I bought a Harley Davidson. Sad story. Kind of my uncle, my mother's brother, died in a motorcycle accident when I was small, like 6 years old. So my mother never let me near a motorcycle. So probably, so I'm 64, I was probably about 50 years old. I decided I'm going to go from riding no motorcycle to a Harley Davidson, big 750-pound bike. So they drop it off at my driveway, and I get on the bike and start riding. I realize I have no clue what's going on with that either. I don't have a license, anything. So yeah, it's clearly a pattern here. I can tell you more. So I ride it around in the morning, early in the morning, getting pretty used to it. And to the point where I really felt pretty cool. Like it felt like, Arnold Schwarzenegger, right around the bike, the sunglasses going on, the black t-shirt and the boots and the whole bit. So I'm going to take it into Rye on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, showing off the bike. Beautiful bike, see all the chrome and all like the saddlebags and everything. And a bunch of people around, and I go to pull out onto a main street, and I didn't give it enough gas, and I stalled the bike. So now I'm feeling like a little bit of a nerd now, because you're not supposed to do that when you're riding the bike.
right.
So I decided to gun it really hard, so make sure I didn't stall it, going into this parking lot. And I kind of hit this, there's a ramp going to the parking lot kind of aside. So I hit this ramp with the bike, and the bike flies up in the air, lands on top of me.
Oh my God.
750-pound bike. Now I've got no license. Police officer, really nice police officer, comes running over, and I'm thinking, okay, that's great. First of all, I feel like an idiot here. My leg's trapped underneath the bike. He lifts the bike off, and he's kind of giggling a little bit, like, you're an idiot, because there's nobody else around. It was all me. So I said, okay. So I pulled out my license. I said to him, listen, this is the only license I have. I don't have the regular motorcycle license. He looks at it, and he's a big Ranger fan.
Oh,
So he goes, Tom, what are you doing, you idiot? Like, I said, it's bad enough. So I think he did it to kind of teach me a lesson. He called the ambulance, and I think he must have told the ambulance drivers to like really rev it up pretty good. Had the lights and the blur, and it's like everybody,
make a big scene.
Oh yeah, totally. So everybody's watching, And they're all the two ambulance guys and the cop. They're just dying laughing at me, because I'm standing there with the windshield in one hand and my helmet in the other hand. I'm bleeding. And so I said, please, you guys leave. I'll sign anything you want me to sign. Just please leave. So they left, and I had to limp to the hospital.
Oh my gosh.
So, okay. So kind of my question is then, that seems like not all men are like that, but a lot of men are like that. Like, I don't need to read the instructions. I know what I'm doing. Do you find, is that accurate that men do that more than women? Do you think that?
I really don't know because, like, I sometimes do that.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, with not wanting to read the instructions, but it depends on what it is. So I think it's just really personality based. I do think like sometimes traditionally men are like, oh, I
Yeah.
can figure it out, the kind of the macho vibe. But it's funny. I think we have so much information. Sometimes the last thing we want to do is like take the time to read directions and just
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
get to it.
Hey, just get on the bike and go, right? So,
Yeah.
I was just dying laughing to myself today with the drone, because it's heading towards the water, and I'm thinking, I don't know how to stop it because I didn't read the instructions, but it's kind of late. So I got into the land, so it was pretty funny.
Well, it sounds like you're a risk taker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. You know, it's funny. I have looked back at my life and some of the things I've done, right? Like going to truck driving school, going on Survivor, all little things,
Yeah.
big things. Yeah. And like
Okay.
we've talked so many times, like I love my life now. So I don't regret anything I did because it's made me who I am now, right? So I think that's great advice for other people. Like, don't be looking, go for it in life. And if you make mistakes, you're going to make mistakes. That's a fact.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's nice to look back and not really regret things and at least just take the lessons from the things that you don't really like about your past, but
Yeah. Yeah.
move forward with that information.
Yeah. So next month on November 6th, the Sunday, they're flying me up to Marquette, Michigan, where I went to school at Northern Michigan
Okay.
University. So I'm putting on a presentation in front of 500 student athletes. And then there's another school. So that's a night. In the morning, there's another school I'm going. I can't remember the name of the school.
Okay.
And it's really got me thinking back. I've been back there about 35 years now.
Oh,
So it's got me thinking back to some of the things that we did. Oh, God. So our coach, I know. When my kids went off to college, I was thinking, if those kids do what I did at college, I'm going to kill these kids. They're not going to make it. It's not going to
I'm
happen.
sure every parent thinks that.
Yeah, very true. So, and we went up there. So the first year we had a hockey program up there. It was my first year. So we were all freshmen. We had no upperclassmen to show us around what to do or not to do. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So we were there. Yeah. And we're all like kids from the farm country, Minnesota, Michigan. And our coach at the time, Rick Comley, he's the athletic director now there at school. So I'll get to see him again. I haven't seen him in a long time. And it is funny looking back. I'm thinking, that poor man, like he must have been in therapy or something, because we were awful. Yeah. We loved him. We loved him. He was fantastic to us. It's just, we were just so wild. It's just like somebody came up with an idea to do something. It was yes. There was absolutely no filter whatsoever.
Wow.
Yeah. I saw this woman. She was working in a financial services business in Michigan. And one of my clients, or maybe I had used her boss as a financial advisor. And she says to me when she met me, he goes, yeah, you guys lived all out. Yeah. It was, wasn't really that bad. Oh, it's funny.
That's great. Well, it'll be fun to go back for
Yeah,
you.
well, yeah, it will be. It's some of the old memories and everything. I'm looking forward to it. It's just because, again, I've learned so much, especially over these last 5 or 6 years. Lessons. And again, looking at some of the crazy things we did then really helped me too, because I learned a lot from everything too. So it'll be cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's what being young is for. It
Yeah.
shapes you.
Isn't that true? Yeah. Yeah. You're right. They're supposed to. Now I know you do as well, but I deal with a lot of particularly young men in their early 20s, late teens, and having breakups and being down. And it's easy to look back and say, "Come on, suck it up," But we were all like that too when you had somebody.
Oh, yeah. You remember being at that age; it felt so difficult because that's where you were at. But...
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Okay, so update on the dogs.
Oh yes, let's hear. I've been wondering.
I know you're probably sitting up all night saying, "I wonder what Tom's doing."
I'm like, what's happening with Pepper? I need to know.
Yeah. Okay, so the woman that's beside me here is a fantastic woman. We've got along great. Every time she ever needed something, she comes to me, and she's great. She's got a little dog, and I know she tries her best to not have the dog barking.
Yeah.
So probably about 2 weeks ago on a Thursday, our Thursday show at 2:00. She had the workers come from maintenance crew come in doing something in her apartment, and the dog was going after the maintenance workers. So she had to put the dog out in the back deck. Okay. Beautiful day. So as I'm doing the podcast, the dog is barking about 10 feet away.
Of course.
So, part of me is like, okay, Tom, settle down. She's a great neighbor and everything. But I guess all this time during the summer, from her end, if I was sitting outside watching my smart TV, I would turn the volume up when the dogs got barking. And I guess it was really getting to her. Like she was really upset. So
Oh
now,
no.
yeah, and I felt terrible. But so at first, I'm walking out to the garbage, take the garbage out. And again, I guess it was that Thursday after my show. And she confronted me and she was not too happy with me at all. And I was kind of taken back because I'm thinking, you're mad at me. I didn't I didn't have any clue about the volume on the TV at the time. So she started going back and I says, okay, we need to both calm down. Like we were both getting kind of mad. I said, we've gotten along fantastic here. And she was the same way. She's, I'm sorry. I said, our problem is that it's not as much your dog. It's that dog over there, or these dogs over here. So we had a great talk. We actually hugged it out after we were done.
Oh, good.
I was actually pretty happy because and again, this is a nice elderly woman. So I was really thinking, don't get in a confrontation with her, Tom. Like, but she came at me pretty hard. I tried to walk away at first. And she's, you're going to stop and talk to me. And
Oh,
she was good. Yeah, she wasn't backing down from anything. She was going after it. Yeah. But you have helped me come a long way in recognizing how I'm reacting and just settle down.
Good.
So,
I'm glad.
yeah.
Wow.
But the dogs still bark all the time. That's nothing changed.
Did you turn down your TV?
Yes, I did. I realized, you know what, Tom, that's ridiculous. Maybe there's a part of me that was just leaving it up because I was aggravated, and I hope I wasn't
drown out the sounds.
Yeah, that's really what I was thinking was. I just don't want to hear it. I'm just going to turn the TV up. So, you got a dog next to you, don't you?
I have a dog. Yeah.
Yes, you have one of your own.
Yeah, he's a big dog though. He's a big dog. He doesn't bark though, really ever. So I love that. But there's a little dog next door that yaps a lot. When I'm in the sessions.
So what do? Would you ever go talk to the neighbors about the dog?
No, because it doesn't for a super long time. It's like they let him out, he barks a while, they bring him back in. So it's it's annoying, but it's not like a huge deal. He's not out there all day long.
I know. And as long as they're trying their best to not have him bark.
They're good neighbors, so I don't want to like rock the boat.
We have spoken since the ladder incident, haven't we?
Ladder incident.
Right through the ladder?
No.
Oh, okay. So you're not gonna be happy with me here, okay?
Oh boy.
I'm gonna get reprimanded. So they've been doing a lot of work lately. It's summertime, so a lot of work in the condominium complex, and they're putting in new rain gutters. So there's a town ordinance in the town of Greenwich, which I checked on, that at 6 o'clock all construction noise has to stop.
Okay.
So they've been going past the 6 o'clock. And again, I kind of admire the guys because they're working hard trying to get the job done.
Yeah.
But it's one of the same things. I know I'm getting aggravated. The dogs are barking, the banging stuff around, drills going, everything. So I went outside at first and it was getting close to 6. I said, guys, you do understand there's a town ordinance. I try to be very nice that at 6 o'clock you have to stop the work. Of course, they don't pay attention. So 10 after 6, quarter after 6, I go, guys, stop, please. They said, we'll do what we want. Nobody else is complaining. Why are you complaining? All that. So I said, it's going to stop. Now I'm getting mad. So there's the ladder that's leaning up against the wall. Nobody's on the ladder. It's just an aluminum ladder. Yeah, it's important to mention that nobody's on the ladder.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the ladder and I'm saying, Tom, don't do it. And the other party's going, yes, do it, Tom. So I took the ladder and I threw it down the hill. I said, you're leaving now.
Wow.
Yeah. They left. And then I'm thinking to myself, I know. And I'm thinking, what if somebody had a video camera of that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess technically I didn't damage the ladder. I didn't hurt anybody.
Yeah.
But still, it was not.
A bit of an off the rails moment.
Yeah. I must admit, it did feel pretty good when they started walking away. I hate to say it. I know it's not right, but.
Why was it so important for you for the work to stop at 6 o'clock?
You know what? I think, honestly, that's a great question. I think it was a compilation of a lot of things that have been going on. Like, I found out I had to re-sign my lease. So, of course, I looked on the lease, and no dogs are supposed to be tied up outside on the open areas. They can be tied up in the private areas. Of course, Pepper's tied up outside in the open areas. So I'm thinking, okay, like all these rules are being broken. It just seemed, and we've talked about this before too, like even driving down the road, like people were running red lights. I guess maybe it was a buildup of all the stuff in the pandemic. And that's enough. I'm sick and tired of all this. Because I do remember looking at the ladder. It's like I had those two little men on each shoulder, like looking and going, Tom, do it. One guy's going, do it.
Angel and the devil telling you what to do.
Yeah. One guy's going, do it, Tom, do it. And the other guy's, no, Tom, don't do it. Yeah, I did it.
Well, I think it's really interesting just hearing you talk about that because like you're such a risk taker and like you break some rules yourself, like the
I know.
motorcycle license,
Yeah,
but you're really into people following the rules, aren't you?
I know. That is, you know what? That is, you're totally correct on that. Like I have this thing where I'm on the highway, I can drive 100 miles an hour. But when I'm in the town, I drive the speed limit. I drive 30. And I get upset when other people don't drive. But you're right. There I am out the highway, going 80 miles an hour on 55.
Is it
Yeah.
just like your condo community, like you really care about the rules being followed there?
No, I care about the rules all over.
All
I really
over.
do. Yeah. But you're right.
Interesting.
But there I am. If I decide it's time to break the rules,
Mm.
it's a very interesting point. What is that all about?
Well,
What?
you want other people to follow the rules, but you don't have to follow the rules.
Yeah. I know. So where am I coming up with that? Like, I feel like I'm a real good man. I'm a, good person. I do things for others, all that stuff. But how do I feel that I have the right to be like that?
I don't
That's a
know.
good point.
You're gonna have to dig deep and figure that out.
I need hypnosis. Seriously, we should do hypnosis.
We
Are
should.
you pretty booked up right now? Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty booked up, yeah, but we
All
can
right.
chat.
We gotta find a time for it and do it.
Yeah.
Oh God. It's great that you pointed that out. That's right too. And I think maybe privately in my own mind, I've thought that too. Like, okay, Tom, let's get this straight. You can do whatever you want to do, but other people have to follow the rules.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I bet everyone has a little bit of that. I mean, in reality, we all wanna do what we wanna do, but then when other people break the rules and it affects us, it's annoying,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Yeah, because I do. Okay, so I'm trying to rationalize it right now. I feel like the rules that I break don't really annoy anybody else. I'm trying to think of some
Let's think
examples.
about this.
Yeah,
Driving a motorcycle without a license could hurt somebody.
totally true. Didn't
Or
take any.
you hurt yourself,
Yeah,
so even that is not great.
didn't take any lessons. So it's totally unfair to everybody else on the road.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's just a different perspective, just an observation.
I think I've learned something here today about myself. I think I probably already knew it, but I think it's been brought to the light now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh. Man. I got some work to do.
it's all good.
Uh, yeah, definitely. So is there? I know we talked about this before. I'm assuming like during holidays and stuff. Is that a busier time of the year for you? Or is it just always?
It depends. Yeah, it really depends. Sometimes it's hit or miss. Like holidays, sometimes I'll get really busy because people have the time, but other people, it really just like it'll be different clientele. Like usually parents or like teachers and things are more busy like getting their kids and Christmas and whatever holidays they celebrate, getting everything prepared. And then sometimes people are like, hey, I have the time, like I'm going to do this now before the new year. I want to get a jump start on my goals, so it just depends.
Right. Very cool. I was really honored the other day. I got put on the board of this John W. Brick Foundation.
Mm.
So Victor Brick is this pretty successful man. He owns about 100 Planet Fitnesses around the world.
Oh, okay.
And he had a brother that was schizophrenic, I believe, and he passed away about 2 or 3 years ago. So they started this. His brother's name is John W. Brick. So they started this John W. Brick Foundation for all these mental health causes. So they had. So yesterday was 10/10/22, which is mental health, worldwide mental health day. Is that what it was?
Yes.
So they did a thing that they wanted us to send in a video, a 10-minute workout video, just at home. So they're just getting started without weights or anything. 10 minutes for 10 days. So leading up till. So I was on the 10th yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Of course, they had first told me. Here we go again. They first told me to do a 10-minute video.
Yeah.
Of course, I didn't listen fully that it was a 10-minute workout. So I put together an hour and a half workout condensed.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm in the gym with weights flying around the whole bit. And they so I sent it in and they called me back and it was, Tom, that was really good, but we didn't really want that. We just wanted a 10. And they felt bad because they thought they didn't give me the instructions properly. But they gave me. I told them.
They did.
Yeah.
You just ignored them.
Man, we got a pattern going on here.
Yeah. This is interesting.
Just do it. Just Tom's going to do just whatever he wants to do.
Mm.
Wow. Wow. That guy goes into a story too. So up in Northern Michigan, one of my best friends up there is this Walt Kyle. He became a coach up there after we played together and everything. So I had been a captain. He came in. The coach made him another captain. So he called Walt in. Geez, man, I tell so many stories and I forget what I was like. So he called Walt in one day and he says, listen, you're one of the tri-captains. Totally like your work ethic and everything. But Tom's the leader of the team. But I want you to watch Tom. And I want you to take care of Tom. Because I guess I was a little wild at the time. And so we went out. That was on a Wednesday. We went out on a Friday night, and there was an Air Force base close by. So of course we're at this local establishment having a few adult beverages, and somehow we got into a little ruckus with the Air Force guys. And all the team got involved and everything like that. Became a big deal. So coach called Walt in the morning. He says, "What happened? I told you to take care of Tom." He says, "Listen, I watched him. I stood by him, but there's nobody around is ever going to lead that man. He's going to do whatever he wants to do." And I saw I'm sorry, I should back up. He made that speech when he was getting inducted into the Hall of Fame there. Walt made the speech.
Okay.
So I apologize for not saying it. So when I saw the speech, I was like, really? Was I that bad? I'm like, God. It is funny though. You look back at people tell stories. I know Coach. I don't know if I told you this story, but Coach of mine that I came in touch with, he coached his first couple of years as an assistant coach, and he was telling me a story how that in practice, if something had gone wrong, if I fell down or somebody hit me or something, they would contemplate canceling practice because they didn't know how I was going to react. They thought I might get a little mad. Man, it's wow, I'm telling all these stories now. Like I've got some. We need to do a lot of hypnosis. I got some issues.
It's all just coming out.
I know. It's your fault too. It's better when it stayed inside. I felt better about things. Now it's coming out because of you.
It's just how it goes. I don't say anything. I just sit here and people just tell me things. It's just.
Is that how you are with your work too?
It's just happened to me my whole life. Like, I mean, even now I can go like to the store, to the bank or something, and a complete stranger will just tell me their entire life story with me saying nothing. And it just happens everywhere I go. Airports. It's really wild.
It must help you in your business then too, right? Because people really open up to you.
It does, yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah,
because you barely said anything, and I'm just babbling away here about all the stupid things I've done in my life.
It's just how it goes. I'm very used to it. I think it's just an energy. It's just a thing that I have. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And do you are you really, I mean, it's gotta be wearing on you sometimes though to be like that. Because if everybody's dumping their stuff on your lap, that's gotta be.
I'm very good at setting boundaries. So it used to be really draining and tiring, but I've learned how to create like physical, mental, emotional, and energetic boundaries. So
So if you're at the grocery store and some person you don't even know comes up to you and starts telling, I mean, do you stand there and still listen to what
it depends. Like it depends. It really just like depends on how the energy feels. Like if I'm like, oh, this person just needs a minute, and I'll validate them and be like, hey, hope you have a good day. And if it's like a little too crazy, I'll just be like, gotta go. Right. I'm not required to stand here and listen to everybody's stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been, so I was at the beach probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago. This young guy comes walking by, and I was not talking to him at all. It was a nice sunny day, and he's just irate. He's the capitalistic people around here and all this kinds of stuff. He's going on this tirade. And I thought, okay, I really have nothing to do with this. So I just kept on walking. A couple of days later, he came up to me again, and he acknowledged that he was autistic and that he had no friends. Yeah. So I kind of taught me a lesson, like you said, you were there to listen to people. I didn't. I just blew this guy off, and I shouldn't have. Once I realized that he was looking for somebody, so now we're buddies now. But
that's nice.
Yeah, but I was also kind of mad at myself a little bit. Okay, why did I not have the patience to stop and talk to him the first time? Right.
Well, it depends on the day and what you're involved in and what's going on in that moment. And, you never know what people are going through, but also at the same time, you have to be protective of yourself and your time as well. So it's a fine balance.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, like with you, with everybody dumping their stuff on you, plus now with your work, you've got people talking about their stuff too.
Yeah.
Now, with your husband working at the Garden there, do you go down to many games?
I do once in a while. Not a ton, but we definitely go. Rangers games, Knicks games. Yeah.
Which you like better, the Knicks or the Rangers? Be honest. Be honest. Go ahead.
I do actually enjoy watching hockey more. My dad and my brother played hockey, so I used to always go growing up. My dad's been a Rangers fan forever. So
that's right. He's been
watching the Rangers on TV since I was little. So I do like it.
Yeah. Hey, Jackie is back. Yes, thank you. Deb wrote a really nice. Deb did a video today on her Facebook that was very nice towards me. She was very sweet.
Oh, that's awesome.
Talking about how much I've helped her and all that. So very nice. Thank you very much, Deb. Mm-hmm. You could have written a little bit longer, but I mean that's fine. Yeah. Okay, just kidding. I'm kidding. Well, it's good to see you back again. Yeah. So we're gonna get back to every Tuesday now, hopefully. Again, everybody, if you've got more questions, I know this is a really popular show that you and I were doing, so I want to get back to that. Very, I thought very educational too. I've learned a lot from it. I know other people made that comment too. So great to see you again.
You too. Thanks for having me.
And okay, we got some work to do. We established on this show. So the title of this show is "We Need to Work on Tom." That was the title of the show.
Uncover Tom stuff.
Oh yeah, I know. God, we did uncover some stuff today. That was terrible. All right, good to see you again, Jackie. We'll see you next week.
You too. Bye bye.